Now the fuck's your bull marks on the 5 numbers after the name. Little God of War action over here, man. Will be my final God of War video. Not forever, but for the time being. At some point I'll play God of War 3, and at some point I'll replay this game. We're getting to that point, man, when I'm interested in maybe replaying some games, man, like The Last of Us. Like, I'm kind of itching to go back to The Last of Us, and God of War is still too recent for me to go back necessarily to replay. I still got to go through like The Witcher 3. The schedule right now is we're going to try to bang out a couple more games before I leave for the motherland on vacation. Then when I come back, which is a little bit like mid to late August, we're taking on, I haven't decided yet, but I'm taking on either Dark Souls 3, I'm taking on either Dark Souls 3, The Witcher, and Metal Gear Solid 5. So comment below on what you want me to play, because I haven't fully decided, but I'm going for one of those like hard, long games. Pause. I don't know how hard actually The Witcher or Metal Gear are, but I know Dark Souls 3 is hard. So I'm gonna play one of those when I come back over there, and then I still haven't decided whether I'm buying Spider-Man or not. I don't know if that's gonna be my first purchase. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with fall games. I just know I'm getting Smash, that's for sure. I know I'm getting Red Dead, that's for sure. I know I'm getting Black Ops 4, that's for sure. No season pass for now, but at the end of the day. So, this is one of the boss fights over here. I guess spoiler-ish, but not really. Like, I cut out like any story elements. I kind of just wanted to keep the fight. But you kind of see what's happening over here. And it was really cool, man, because I wasn't even like expecting a boss fight at this like point in the game. I mean, you kind of are. Like, you see that these guys are kind of around you or whatnot, but I wasn't sure if I was going to fight them or whatnot. And you weren't sure how you're going to fight them either. So when it kind of just like you were kind of talking to him, and all of a sudden it just diverges right into, like, remind you, this game has no cuts. I believe it might have one cut, but it has no cuts. It has like a cut at the end or something like that, but that's after. It's post credits, so I guess it's alright. But the game is one take or whatever, so it's not like you like talk to these people and then it goes like black real quick or whatever. Nah, it goes like right into it, and then you kind of have this fight over here where oftentimes I'm not even sure if I'm doing things right or wrong necessarily. You kind of have to figure it out as you go, as you'll see over here, man. But there's so many different elements, man. It's so cool. And this boss fight, I don't want to put like the two coolest boss fights, which are with like the main boss. These are kind of some side characters that you have to fight. The two main boss fights, though, I honestly just didn't want to put them on the channel because I think it'd be unfair. You need to experience those for themselves. But they're like, I can't I'm gonna play Spider-Man. I can't imagine that there's anything in Spider-Man that could be even better than that. Like, those to me were like the ultimate superhero type fights, like superhuman fights, and as they should, because you're gods, you know what I'm saying. And this one has some elements of that, but it's still more grounded. I believe grounded might be a relative term to use in a God of War game, but it's more grounded than those that took like huge fantastical elements and just raised the spectacle of what we could do in this game. This one is very much a, here's an arena, here's a health bar, figure it out. Some of these boss fights don't have health bars, which is pretty fun. Like those kind of like big main ones over here. But this was kind of a cool one to use to test all your kind of abilities up to that point. To test like using the kid and whatnot. I mean, Atreus is so good in this game. Low key though, I remember like I was listening to a podcast like early on when this game came out, and I was playing through it, and they kind of mentioned jokingly like, oh, you know, Atreus is OP, and I kind of laughed at it, and then I thought about it a little more. I'm like, nah, this isn't a joke. Atreus is OP. Like, the kid is OP. So he shoots these arrows, right, which like stun, or they have like different effects on like the characters. Okay, that's fine. That I mean, it's fine. It's whatever, but it's fine. The part to me that was like really OP is that like you could also like call in like a bunch of different, I forget the name of it. I'm gonna use specters, but it's not the name of it. But you could call in a bunch of different like spirit animal kind of things to help you out and stuff. So you'll kind of notice, I think I have equipped like the wolf one. I used the wolf one like for pretty much the whole game, which is like the first one you got. I kind of upgraded them. You could upgrade these things too, which is also seems unfair. Like you could upgrade his bow thing, which is what I did first. Before I even upgraded my stuff, I upgraded always like Atreus' bow as much as I could, because it was honestly a lot stronger, a lot like just more useful than like my like stuff. Which is pretty cool for like a side character, but it keeps him like involved. It keeps him a part of the game, and they've made such a good job. They did such a good job in this game of keeping Atreus not only involved in the story. That part's pretty simple, and there you see the wolves. But it keeping him involved with the gameplay, and that to me make that story even better. Like there's one thing where you have like a side character that kind of just sticks next to you, and you have to take care of them. That's a pain, right? No one likes it to a game that's just a big escort mission. That's a pain in the ass. Think Resident Evil 4, right? With that girl that you have next to your president's daughter. not really the most entertaining. It's solid. It was good for that game. I think that game did a very good job at the time of what a side character would be, but it's still just a glorified escort mission and not really as entertaining. This game is like, he's your partner, he's your son, he's like an important part of this story. He's honestly the main character of the story in a kind of crazy way. That's how important he is. But he's also going to be a big factor in your gameplay. And I remember when I first heard that the new God of War, he was always going to be with you. To me, that was a negative, right? Like I initially took that and I was like, oh, like I've played video games before. I hate when like these side characters like with you and just kind of get in your way. That's a pain. Didn't really like that. But then when I heard I think the only thing I heard about, because I kind of did a media blackout, but the only thing I heard about it was that he actually was going to be like helpful, like he was actually going to be useful. And to myself, I kind of thought, and I was like, everybody says that, you know, like in Resident Evil 4, for example, they're probably like, oh no, but she'll help you out, you know, or maybe like, oh, you know, well, she'll be able to like see things that you can't see, or something like that. Think about it like this: Resident Evil Revelations 2, like you had those two characters, and one of them had special abilities or whatnot. All right, that's like a kind of a way of doing it. But then when I sat down and I played the game, and I started using his arrows, and I started using those special powers, and I was like, whoa, like hold up. It's not only that this guy's a factor. It's not only that he's immune, right? Like he doesn't get hurt. Like he gets stunned sometimes, but he doesn't get hurt. Like there's no health bar on him. Like he's not gonna die, which I think was a very good way of handling it. It's almost like the new Rayman games where you just have infinite lives. Like that's like how the platformer should evolve. But this is how the side character should evolve. No health bar. Don't worry about the health. They contribute. Maybe they don't contribute as much because this guy might be OP, but they contribute, and therefore they stay engaged in the story and make you care about them because they're actually useful to you rather than a burden. You want to avoid anything in a video game that's a burden. This whole thing's about having fun. And have fun this weekend.